typically you would end up buying condenser mics for your home studio. That does invite another potential problem, and that is that condenser mics kind of hear the whole room. And
yes,
and I've heard this. Someone was turning me on yesterday to storyteller channels, and which honestly is a thing I didn't know existed. So there are channels on YouTube where people just tell stories, and these were horror stories, scary stories, whatever. It doesn't surprise me that exists. I just had never really known about it.
Sure. Yeah.
But it was one of the big channels, and the guy was telling the story, and he was on camera, but it sounded like he was sitting inside of an untreated box, right? So
because he probably was sitting inside of an untreated box.
Yeah, exactly, with a green screen, so you could totally hear the room, and not everyone will notice that. And he has, more people watching his videos every day than watch all of mine in a year, right? So
sure.
I'm not saying it's going to prevent you from being a success if you work in an untreated space, but anyone who's done any audio work would appreciate it if you buy some acoustic treatment, because you don't want to hear echo. Your listeners don't want to hear the sound of the room, because it's distracting.
Well, the way I always say it is, your listeners are going to hear your sound bouncing around in their room, whatever room that might be, their car, their home, or their ears. But in most cases, they don't want the sound of your room added to that bouncing around. So give them what you can as dry as you can,